Hello, TVL honeys. Thank you for joining me here today on I See Melanie. So, of course, the Vampire Lestat premiered a few days ago. And so this video today is going to be kind of looking back to some of the things that I missed in that initial video via your feedback. You guys had great feedback. Thank you so much for commenting, liking, sharing, and subscribing, those YouTube things, and hyping it up by, going to the comment section, swiping a little bit, and pressing the hype button. You helped to get the video going through the YouTube algo that much more, and I know you're going to do the same thing for this video. But in addition to talking about the feedback, what I have on my list today, we'll be talking about a little bit about TVL After Dark very quickly. We'll talk about the This Season On trailer, so we got one right after the episode. And also, we have some picks for the next episode, Toledo. We'll be looking at that. And also, there's a little bonus at the end, a clip that came out with two of our favorites from the Vampire Lestat. So yes, I can't wait to go into all those things. And if you are new to my channel, hello, thank you for joining me. Make sure you watch the video that I did on the premiere. But FYI, since you don't know this, since you're new, I haven't read the books. I don't plan on reading the books anytime soon. And if you are a book reader and you feel so compelled to leave a comment, please make sure it's book spoiler free. I understand it could be very frustrating for book readers to hear me hypothesize things. And you're like, oh, it's in the book, it's in the book. It's like, well, I'm not reading the book. So I'm talking about things just on the TV show. So thank you for having the patience and bearing with me. All right, so in the episode the other day, there was a detail that I saw, but I couldn't quite put two and two together. It was in the elevator where Dee and Lestat and Baby Jenks were having a grand old time. And at one point, they focus in on Baby Jenks's neck tattoo, and it said, "Kill her." So Killher. If you say kill her quickly, it sounds like killer. We know somebody who's nicknamed Killer in this show. So I saw the feedback from Lainey over here. So thank you, Lainey. So she said, go back and rewatch the Bruce scene. Then notice Baby Jenks' tattoo, what it says. Then notice the name of the gang that attacked him. So we know that Claudia called Bruce Killer. And also, we know that at least back in the 1920s, Bruce was at least at one point based in Detroit. He said he worked for GM or one of the motor companies. Of course, he could have floated around all over the place, but they are in Detroit right now. And also at the end, when Baby Jenks left Dee and Lestat, she said she's getting married next week. And Lestat called her a honeypot, so we know that she was there for nefarious reasons. And also, there is a clip that we saw within the last few weeks leading up to the premiere, and it's Louis, and we can guess based on the other clips we've seen since NYCC that he is talking to Bruce. And in this particular scene, he said,
"Congrats on the happy day."
So it could make sense by the time Louis is talking to him that the marriage already happened with Baby Jenks. And there is a clip in this season teaser that shows somebody in a wedding dress being carried over the threshold, or about to be carried over the threshold by somebody who looks like it could be Bruce. It's a very short clip, so we can examine that in a bit. So it seems as though Baby Jenks could be affiliated with the Coven in Detroit. And we learned from the Talamasca show that nobody watched except for me and a couple of you guys. We know that humans can be a part of a vampire coven. They don't have to be supernatural. They can be parts of covens. So I believe she is human, but who knows? But I definitely believe she's affiliated with the Detroit Coven in some way. Now let's talk about Yarda. There's a part of his presence, him being there, that I didn't quite piece together on Sunday, but it just clicked to me today randomly, and I saw this comment. I try to get to all your comments as soon as possible, but I just saw this comment a couple of hours ago. And sorry, I can't pronounce the name. I'm sorry, but hello S. You said, I think Yarda is less connected to the delusions of grandeur that I mentioned, and more of a permanent alibi for the occasional murder that might happen, like whatever happened in Corvallis. So that makes perfect sense. So I think he does do two duties, but I think him being an alibi is more important than him being a stand-in to show that Lestat's human and he eats at Applebee's, or even to interact with his fans. So yes, so Yarda is an alibi, so Lestat can go crazy across North America. The next piece of feedback I thought was, oh, this is a great theory. It hadn't even crossed my mind, but now that it's out there, I'm thinking about it. So Q, thank you so much for this feedback. And you're right, maybe the power outage that I was having on Sunday afternoon was put upon by the Talamasca, who knows? Jokes aside, the first thing that I thought about in regard to Louis' feet is that we're seeing the aftermath of whatever happened in 2025, and he may have removed, willingly or not, the stones he had in his feet as a result from the trial and being trapped in the coffin back in the 40s. I hadn't even thought about that, like, at all. I totally forgot about that. That could be. And then something else in the season teaser that we got a couple of days ago jogged a memory of something that we saw in the opening sequence. And there is a picture that I will refer to later. Maybe that has something to do with that event, because I am assuming, I have no idea, that maybe whatever dust up Louis got in that resulted in his leg or his foot being cut off might have been the same issue or same incident where Armand got his eye shot out or eye damaged. Who knows? We see he has an eye patch, and he also has some gashes above his eyebrows. So maybe, who knows? We'll see. And here's a part I completely forgot to reference. I think because I've done so many of these build-up videos leading up to the premiere, there's certain things I just kind of glossed over because I feel as though I've talked about them a lot. So I'm going to have to make the conscious effort to remember to talk about some details that I might feel are kind of like, oh, we talked about this 1,000 times, because they are important to the episode, and especially for people who haven't watched all my videos, because not everyone watches my videos. So anyone who is new, who's coming new, they might not know my frame of reference or what I remember or what I think is significant. So anyway, here, so I'm going to go to the second line here of Razula's comment. So she said, Louis looks delicious. He did, but the point I forgot to reference is Lestat looking like roadkill, but trying to pose all cutesy or cutie at the end was hilarious. So I forgot to mention, okay, Lestat's mom comes in and they do what they need to do. But I forgot to mention that we see Lestat, first of all, he looks like he's in complete shock. And of course, he looks terrible. We've never seen Lestat look this bad ever. But yeah, he sees his mom come in. He's in shock. He drops his phone. And then we see him all like cutesy. Like we've never seen Lestat cutesy before. At least not like that. And we also hear him stuttering. So he's going back to his childhood. His mother is triggering something that he got over a long time ago, but mother is here, and now he's reverting to a little boy, which only makes what they did afterwards that much more disgusting. But yeah, I forgot to mention that, like, she brings out, I'm not going to say the worst in him, because a lot of kids have stutters, and they have stutters into their adulthoods too. There's nothing wrong with having a stutter, something wrong with you for having a stutter. But the idea that she comes along and she kind of unravels things, which seems to be, based on everything I've heard Roland and Sam and everyone say, I think that's what she's going to be. I think she's going to be a major wrecking ball. And so, yeah, so we see Lestat reverting to his youth right there. And one thing I just wanted to clear up, when I said this the other day, I thought to myself, if they make Lestat MAGA, I'm going to be pissed off. I don't think that's what it is. I do not think Lestat is part of MAGA. I really don't. It was a joke. Perhaps I didn't execute the joke very well, or was too subtle. I don't think he's part of MAGA for 1,000 reasons. For one, that would be a boring storyline for this show. Also, we know Lestat doesn't care about human affairs anyway, so he wouldn't be involved in any political party, I'm positive. So yeah, so I made that comment, and somebody left a comment saying, oh, you're talking about politics? I'm gone. It's like, you know, I try not to mention politics too much when I'm talking about TV shows that I like, but like politics are involved in so many things in my life. And when I see parallels to things, I mention them. And I'm guessing a lot of you guys wouldn't be MAGA. You know, technically anyone's allowed to be whatever they want. I, for sure, am on the other end. I'm Canadian, so, you know, technically I can't be. But I'm a leftist, I'm a progressive, so I'm very, very anti those types of ideals. And I don't like your president. He was making fun of Canada just today. So yeah, and I try not to mention it because he darkens the doorstep. So I will try not to mention him for my own peace of mind. But yeah, If that offends you, if you don't like my progressive views, you can go. Bye. It's as simple as that. It's fine. Now let's look at the This Season on the Vampire Lestat little teaser.
If you're still listening after the last hour, welcome back. So bring on the music.
Give me a million more screams.
Do you kill people?
Give me a million more screams.
Let's talk about your mother.
I've been a bad boy, deep down in my heart.
My maker called for his mama and I came.
Give me a million more screams.
You are caught in great danger with Lestat.
You stole my personal possession. You hired my biographer.
The songs are not about you.
Shall we do it? Shall we scorch the mortal world?
What do you think about the Great Conversion?
Fucking stupid.
Okie dokie. So we've seen a lot of these clips before, and that's okay, but there are a couple of things to point out. For one, we see Louis and Lestat at the lawyer's office, which should play out next week or on the weekend, and Louis is upset because Lestat, as I mentioned before in the other video, he's basically hijacked all his people, right? So he took his doctor and he also took his biographer. And then Lestat says the songs aren't about you. It's like, don't even bother saying that. But I took some screenshots of some other things I thought were significant. So in this screen cap here, we see a woman wearing a white dress being carried by a man who has dark hair. So this doesn't exactly look like Bruce as I remember, but who knows? This is a very quick, little snippet of time. It could be him. And it appears as though the woman has a little knot in her hair, like a little bun, like Baby Jenks. So I am assuming this is Baby Jenks and her husband, Killer Bruce. Here we see a picture of Claudia wearing the dress that she wore when she died at the theater. So I'm sure this is either a memory or a hallucination or a flash he's having in his mind, a nightmare of Claudia in her final moments. Here's a picture of Lestat, and he's clearly very bloody. He's got blood going down his face, and he has his arm stretched out, his hand stretched out, and it looks as though he has a piercing in his hand from a bullet hole. And it also appears that he is in his tour bus. Now, in the opening sequence, we do see bullet holes in what looks like to be the side of the bus or side of a car of some sort. So I think that he got shot at in some kind of a brawl of some sort that got really messy, and perhaps Armand and Louis were also involved in it. Who knows? I have no idea at this point, but I definitely think that Lestat was shot. Not good. Now let's talk about TVL After Dark. There are a lot of cool things mentioned in the episode, but I think the biggest takeaway that I gleaned from it, from a storyline perspective, is this thing here that Roland mentioned. And I made reference to this in my video, so I think I have clarity on it now that I've heard Roland speak on it.
In the book, he's writing a book, and there is this sort of, acknowledgement that I'm writing in this sort of omniscient way. And we just in the writer's room were trying to think, our Lestat, how would he do it in here and now? And the idea of some sort of like weird art projects where he was going, okay, I think by the time he's recording that, and by the time you're in that auction scene, he's in a period probably where he doesn't have a lot of friends. And so he's got some time on his hands. And he's like, oh, let's do this. And then I think he does it in the most Lestat way possible.
So from that, I think I have a better understanding of what's going on. I did mention, I wonder if Lestat's dead. I said that I didn't actually believe that for a couple of reasons. One, if Lestat dies, I think the whole franchise is pretty, done for. So I don't think so. And I don't think that would be very satisfying for us as viewers. But also, I did mention that, maybe he's taken by Akasha at this point, because I know that happens in the book, even though I haven't read the book, and I don't exactly know the circumstances. I understand that she's awakened by the music. But here when Roland says, oh, he's just doing this kind of for funsies, and right now he doesn't really have many friends. So maybe he's just in seclusion somewhere, and he's just doing this to see what the aftermath would be, or something. Who knows? But I don't think he's dead. I think he's alive, and I think he's relatively fine. Guess who was rushing to get to the gym before it closed and forgot to film an entire segment of her video? This girl. So I might look a bit greasier than I did before, less fresh face, but that's okay. We're not here to look at me. We're here to look at the pictures of the next episode called Toledo. So we have one here with Mr. Lestat de Liancourt in concert, and he's looking pretty good. I like the lighting. I like the contrast. I like the blues and the purples and just the regular white light. It reminds me of Euphoria's lighting. Did any of you guys watch season 3 of Euphoria? I was reviewing that show, then I stopped because it was not good at all. Okay, here we have another one of Mr. Lestat de Liancourt performing. And we see he's got some special makeup on. As you can see it better in this shot. It looks as though the makeup is meant to represent tears going down his face because he's a bit sad. Here we see Mama de Liancourt, and she doesn't look impressed at all. Yikes. I have a feeling that she's going to be Lestat's complete emotional undoing. Okay, so we see him once again working the crowd, and it's interesting. See this lady here, the black lady with the white, like the platinum blonde wig? I met her. She was really nice. I shared some of my donuts with her when I was outside of this music hall for hours upon hours on end. There was a really cool donut shop there. And yeah, I was sharing it with like some of the extras. And then we see on the balcony, there is Louis de Pointe-du-Lac. And we see in a clip, Lestat flies over to him and points a book at him, shows a book at him. And Louis looks sad, looks upset. Okay, so here is where we see him. This is probably where he's seeing Louis because he looks angry. Louis has never seen that face. Well, actually, no, he has. I was going to say, Louis has never seen Lestat look that angry at him, and then I remembered the whole cloud situation, so forget I said that. Okay, here we see him, and he looks sad. We know we've seen this picture before, or the setting before. He's with his mom at, I don't know, a tavern or somewhere. But he looks very sad. He's playing the piano. Probably trying to get some degree of happiness. Oh, poor Lestat. And here we see Louis, who also looks sad. So we know that this is at his dinner with Daniel. And we saw a teaser, I think maybe like a week before it came out, where he's talking to Daniel and he said that he wished he hadn't published the book. And so, yes, so here they are at the dinner. And here is Louis. They're at the lawyer's office. And we saw this clip at San Diego Comic-Con. And you can tell throughout this entire thing, he's really just goading Lestat, getting him irritated. And he's enjoying it. It's very petty because these two are the pettiest men you ever met in your life. And Louis' lawyer, Moses Sumney. So I first heard of Moses Sumney, I think, in 2018. So it was a while ago. And I knew him as a singer. He was on an album of James Blake. One of James Blake's album. Like, oh, who's this Moses Sumney guy? I'm like, okay, he's cool. He was also, speaking of Euphoria, he was on Sam Levinson's show called The Idol 3 years ago. And equally, actually, it's hard to tell actually between season 3 of Euphoria and The Idol, but The Idol was atrocious. It was so bad. But I like him here. In The Idol, he had platinum blonde hair and he had one blonde eyebrow, which I wasn't a fan of that look. So here we can just see his face, and he's a good-looking man. And look at the two of them together. I really hope Louis is sleeping with him. I do. They look very good together. And if he's his lawyer, we know he's a vampire because of his eyes, and you can see his manicure. So yeah. I'm curious to see what he's all about, what his personality's like. And we see Lestat and his lawyer, Christine Claire, and Lestat looks very angry. His sunglasses kill me. And I think that's it, or this is the final one, so we see them both. And so you can see just from the look in this face, I can't remember looks on their faces. I can just imagine what it would be like to be in that room with them and to be their lawyers. Because, well, Christine Claire, she's a human. Louis' lawyer appears to be a vampire. I'm sure, again, Christine Claire has seen a lot of things. She's had to deal with a lot of things. So she's kind of used to the vampire shenanigans. But they're vampire shenanigans and they're just Lestat shenanigans. And they're Lestat and Louis fighting with each other's shenanigans would be kind of funny to watch if you're just an observer. But when you're actually, you know, the lawyer and things need to be serious, I'd be so frustrated dealing with the two of them. Okay, now back to fresh face content. And the last little bit is a Buzzfeed video with Sam and Jacob, and they are reading thirst tweets because there are so many people who tweet some of the nastiest stuff. Some very nasty, detailed things about them. I found this one that's like, you know, a little risque, but not as intricately detailed as some of the other ones. So if you haven't seen it, you should check it out. I'll put the link in the description somewhere, but let's just see these few seconds of them reading this one tweet.
Okay, I just want Louis and Lestat to put me in the cuck chair so bad. I think it would heal something in me. You know what's funny about this? This is what I appreciate. Actually, we weirdly talk about cuck chairs a lot because we're often staying in hotels and there is always a cuck chair in a hotel room. Why?
Every hotel room you go to anywhere in the world,
One
there is
solitary
a cuck chair.
chair sitting towards the bed.
And once you see it, you can't unsee it. There is always a cuck chair diagonally facing the bed. Good for you.
Like Jacob said, now that I have this idea in my head, I won't be able to unsee it because that is very, very true. Yeah, interesting. So if you want to see the rest of them, I have the description or the link in the description area. So that wraps things up for today. Let me know what you think about this idea of kind of a feedback episode or a follow-up episode to the original review. I had fun. Did you guys have fun? If you did, like it, of course, share, subscribe, hype, all those things to show me that you want this to continue on. And yeah, I am so excited to be here, of course. I don't just watch my own videos because you know what's so funny? I hate the sound of my voice on recording, but I watch my videos all the time. I don't know why. And plus, it helps me improve on certain things as well. So in addition to watching my videos, I watch a lot of other videos out there on YouTube as well. So I was in a live with Struggle TV Reviews and My Sweet Perspective, and Dominic was in there too. And I saw some of you guys in the chat there as well. So hi! I watch Struggle TV Reviews and My Sweet Perspective all the time. They do so much great content and they provide me probably with thousands of hours of entertainment over the years. So make sure you check them out as well. I also watch With Me LB. She's hilarious. She's from New Orleans too. And so she's always entertaining to watch. So yeah. There's so much room for so many different creators in this space, and it's a really good time, and I'm very excited to be part of it and being part of it with you all. So I will be back on either Sunday or Monday with the review of Toledo, episode 2. So leave your comments if you have any, but until then, I'll see you in a few days, okay? Bye, everyone.